conference for the Clemson Florida State game. The game will kick off at 3:36, televised by ESPN. The Virginia Tech game is announced October 1st at Virginia Tech. Will be a 6 p.m. start on ESPN2. I want to thank Herb Tyler from Chick-fil-A in Seneca and Clemson for providing our lunch today. I'll turn over to Coach.
Okay, good to see you guys. Listen, the goal is to try to win every game. That's really what we try to do. When you plan out the season, you don't plan to lose any of them. You're planning to win them all, and I'm proud of our team for being 3-0. That's great. But this is really an exciting week because we get into ACC play, and that's really what it's all about. I mean, that is our next goal. If you look at our next goal, it's to win the division, and so that's where all of our focus is, and in order for us to do that, we've got to keep improving. We've got to stay committed to our standard that we've set, and just in the process of preparation that we go through every day. We got to have the best Tuesday that we've had, and the best Wednesday tomorrow, and just keep getting better, because we've yet to play our best game, that's for sure, and I really think that's what it's going to take to beat Florida State. Florida State is, they're a top 10 team. I know they fell out a little bit this week with playing the #1 team in the country. So, but they played them hard, played them well, battled them toe to toe, and I think that they're a very, very good football team, and certainly our biggest challenge to this point. And again, I think we're going to play our best game. Offensively, they're dangerous. They're a pro-style attack. They've recruited very well. They're good up front. The 2 tackles they got are very good players. They got outstanding skill, and I feel like we're gonna have to really be on our A game. They do a great job with their misdirection and play action, and they'll screen us. They'll probably see some option. I know everybody's going to ask about the quarterback. Listen, we're just preparing for Florida State. I expect their quarterback to play, and so does everybody else. If that turns out to be different, then it's just the way it is. That their backup came in and really hurt us last year. So they've proven that they can win with whoever is under center. And if you ask me, I thought Trickett played very well for them. Really, kind of created a spark, and he's a very talented young player. He can really throw the football. He's a winner. Watched him when he was over at North Florida Christian, and obviously, with his dad and Coach Trickett, he's been around ball his whole life, so I don't think he'll be overwhelmed at all if he ends up being the guy. So, we just got to prepare, ourselves and do a better job getting off the field, eliminating some of the big plays, and we'll be fine. But it's going to be a tough matchup. Their defense is, you turn the film on. It didn't take long Sunday to come down off of a high of a good win. When you turn the film on, you watch these guys flying around because they're very good. They create a lot of tackles for loss. They're giving up 11 points, 77 yards rushing, like 118 yards passing. And only 11 points. So, I mean, this is a big, big challenge for us offensively, certainly the biggest challenge that we've had. Their D-line is typical Florida State, and they're long, they're athletic, they're physical, they can run. They've got really quality depth up front. Their linebackers are big, and they can all run. They're 240-plus pound guys, and really, just very, very active. They're gonna really challenge us from that standpoint. And then their secondary, very experienced. Them 2 corners are special. Their safeties are very good. All of them are back. They got 1 new starter, number 20, and he's a very good player. He's been impressive watching him on film. He'll get after you. So, just a typical Florida State team in every regard. And if you look at their special teams, to me, in a game like this, that could very well be the difference in the game. And it was the difference in the game last year. If you go back and look at that game, I mean, it was pretty much a draw in every area, except they whipped us in special teams. You know, we missed 2 kicks. We scored 1 touchdown. They scored 1 touchdown. We missed a couple kicks. We turned it over on the 3-yard line. They made their kicks, including the 55-yarder with 2 seconds to win it. So we're gonna have to have a great week in special teams, and create something positive for our football team. Their returners are dangerous, and field position will be critical in this game. So we got to do a great job there. But hey, we're excited about another opportunity. Again, it just keeps getting tougher for us, but I'm proud of our guys and how they've been able to, focus, one day at a time, one game at a time, and I'm also, proud of our fans. I just cannot, thank our fans enough for how they showed up this past weekend. I mean, they were a difference in the game for sure. I mean, really created a lot of energy, and I just even starting with our Tiger Walk. I mean, it was awesome, and it certainly, I think, made a difference in the ball game, and I expect it to be as good or better this week as we get into conference play. With that, I'll take any questions.
Coach, it seems like each half your guys make a lot of good adjustments in the first 3 ball games for you, the coaching staff. Would you go over that?
Well, I mean, that's our objective, is to get better as the game goes. And, you go into a game with a plan, but you don't ever really know until you actually get out there, what's the personality of the other team going to be? What's their plan? And so, all coaches have to react to that. Do we need to bring a little more pressure? Do we need to play a little more zone? Do we have a matchup problem? Or the flip side, hey, do we need to throw the ball a little more? What are we doing on first down? How are they playing us? How are they defending us? Man, it's more of this coverage than what we thought. They're giving us more odd front than even front. There's all that stuff, the game within the game, that goes on, and you try to make adjustments. But to be honest with you, for whatever reason, we've just played better as we've gone. We've made some mistakes on defense, in particular in the first half, that's kind of gotten us in a hole in a couple ball games, and it really just it's one thing to have a big play. It's another thing when it's a big play touchdown. That's a double whammy, and so we've had to battle back, but give the credit to the players, because they've had the fortitude and the mental toughness to just keep going and keep playing and play the next play, and end of the game, look up and see what the score is. So, I'm proud of our guys in that, and that's one of our commandments. It's 60 minutes, or as long as it takes to finish. Just keep playing. Don't. If we get up 21, if we get down 21, just keep playing. Just stay focused on the standard, and that's playing our very best on that play.
Dabo, as fast as you aspire to play offensively, how is Taj living up to the sort of this real-time decision-making that he's got to handle to run that offense?
Taj is doing a great job. He's really playing well. He's been outstanding. He's what in fact, I told him today. He was over here earlier watching film on his own, and I just went in there and talked to him. And I just couldn't be more proud of a guy to see where he is mentally and physically from when he got here. He's a quarterback, and he works. But I'm really most proud of his leadership, because he's making everybody else around him better, and just loves to play, loves the game, likes the preparation part of it. He's kept a good focus, and he keeps playing like he's playing as far as taking care of the ball. We're gonna be a tough team. As far as the tempo, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I was talking to somebody who was doing camera for TV last week, and he was talking about how you guys were running. You're running your offense at such a fast pace. The television was literally having trouble keeping up with the snaps.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, what that has to do to the quarterback as far as, not just making the right decision, but making it almost instantly.
Yeah. Well, it's the biggest. A lot of the decision making comes after the snap. There's more decision making after the snap than before the snap, and so that's where the quarterback has to be on his A game, and that's where he's doing a very good job. As far as where his eyes are, making the right decisions based on structure of the secondary, what the front's doing, what the defensive end is doing. Am I giving it and am I keeping it? All those type of things. Where's the ball being thrown? He's doing a very good job. Understands his protection. He understands where the hots are, and he's had some really good throws that, probably the naked eye most people wouldn't even know that were hots. He right now knew where to go with the ball, and the receivers have done a great job of finishing plays for him. But as far as tempo, that's how we practice. So, we're just hopefully a reflection on game day of how we're practicing.
How much of the challenge is, everybody talks about the other defense end, but Werner the other day gave fits to Oklahoma, and then he did the same to y'all last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Must play some pretty good football over in Germany. Had to start do some recruiting over there. He's pretty good. He's really good. He shows up all over film, and their D tackles are strong, and they got depth. And I don't think they got a senior in the bunch. So they're very, very talented, and look like the Florida State guys in Jenkins is a pretty special player.
In terms of Taj and the receivers needing to kind of speak that nonverbal language on the field, 2 months now together with all the new guys, with him being new to the starting role, are you seeing that? I mean, it looks like he and Sammy have pretty good chemistry. Is he about where he should be right now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, that was some of my comments in grading the film Sunday and meeting with the staff was, there were 4 or 5 plays where I just made the comment, man, we're playing some ball now. Where it was guys being on the same page and doing things that I've seen in practice that I hadn't quite seen on game day yet, and making adjustments on the fly as far as our route running, and the quarterback receiver being on the same page versus the technique of the defender on that play, and we had some big plays in that game that was a result of that kind of chemistry.
Yeah, but from what we've seen in the last 3 games from Sammy Watkins, how much better can he be, and what are his deficiencies?
As long he just needs to stay like he is, he'll be just fine. He's I don't really know how to answer that. He's just gonna get better. He's still learning, but he gets it. I mean, he understands defense. You can tell him something one time, he's got it. You correct him, he's incredibly coachable. He's got a burning desire to learn. He's very, very humble, very humble. He's as hard a worker as there is on the field. You sit in a meeting with him, he's always taking notes. He goes back and he studies. He is a very serious, very focused guy. I just hadn't been around many guys like him at his age.
If there was a deficiency, what would it be? I mean, what is it?
I don't know. He's got the whole package. It's hard for me to answer that. He's got great hands. I'd like to say he needs to get physically stronger, but he's 207 pounds, brick house. I don't think his size is a weakness for him right now. I think he's going to continue to get stronger and get bigger and probably be a 215-pound guy at some point. So his size isn't a weakness. He can fly. He's got great hands. He's got great work ethic. He doesn't. There's not. I don't know. Maybe y'all can figure out one. I will say this: he can continue to improve without the ball, and that's really just being a young player where he can continue to grow. But he's, as far as just the skill set of the position, he's got everything you could possibly want in a receiver.
It didn't look like Auburn was really doing too much to stop him Saturday as far as double coverages or chips at the line. Were you surprised by that, or is that just a result of spreading the field?
Well, they tried some matchup stuff, and you know, our guy was better than their guy. And then they played some zone, and we found some soft spots in the zone, and, you know, that's just the nature of the game. And, you know, they missed some tackles where they had a chance to tackle him and didn't tackle him. You know, that third down play, I mean, they couldn't have had a better defense. I mean, they had us on that 3rd down and 3, I think, where he went and got it. But he just, you know, our Jimmy was better than their Joe. You know what you do there. You know, so they had a tough. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy to handle because if you walk up on him and you press him, we've shown that we will take a shot, and we almost connected on one for a touchdown, and then the other one we got a pass interference. So you back up off of him, we've shown we'll throw it short. So, and he's shown he can make people miss, and he's a difficult guy. And I think that's the best thing we got going right now, and it's what I envisioned with our offense and through recruiting is, you know, it's not just Sammy now. You know, part of the reason Sammy's having great success is, you know, Andre Ellington and Dwayne Allen and Nuke Hopkins and Jerron Brown, and, you know, there's a lot of guys that are very capable of making plays for us. And, you know, Taj has done a good job of spreading the ball around, and we'll continue to do that. We're not, you know, forcing anything. A couple years ago, we were forcing some things, you know, because it's just what we had to do with CJ and Jacoby. But we've got a lot of guys where I think we can take what's there, and guys can make plays, and we're young. You know, they're just going to get better. So from that standpoint, I think that, you know, we'll create a little bit of problems for opposing teams.
Do you think because of the way Auburn tried to defend you the other day, and then Todd proved he could win a game when the ball's put in his hands, now that's going to change the way people attack you?
Well, I think he's a factor. I mean, you know, I think he's proven that he can run with the ball. He's proven to be a good decision maker. He's proven to be an accurate thrower. He's made some plays off of scrambles as far as throwing the ball on the run, and you know, so I think he's a guy that when people defend us, you know, they gotta talk about him and you know, his ability to run the ball and throw the ball. I mean, he's definitely a dual weapon.
Talk about the importance of this game toward goal number 2, and that they're the defending champs, they're the team that most people think is where you're gonna have to go through to get where you want to be. This game specifically, the challenge, if you win it, what it does for you. Well,
yeah, I mean, it's just like I said last week. I mean, Auburn, they were the national champions as far as I'm concerned until somebody beat them, and nobody beat them. And so, you know, I mean, we had our shot, and it worked out. And same thing with Florida State. They're the Atlantic Division champions until somebody beat them. They got the belt. They got it. You know, we had it last year, and they knocked us out. As bad a year as it was, if we win that Florida State game, you know, and beat Wake Forest, which we did, we're division champs. And so, you know, it came down to us in Florida State. They got it done. And that, you know, so this is a big game. It's a big game. It's not the season. You know, we win it. We got to keep playing. We got a lot of conference games. Every game. That's the great thing about conference play. I mean, every game counts. Every game counts. And it's not decided until, you know, the end of the season. And but you know, the winner of this game, I mean, it's kind of like we're all in a car racing here, and you know, the winner of the game has their hands on the steering wheel. The loser of this game's still in the car, but they ain't driving. So they got to figure out a way to wedge that sucker out of the driver's seat. And you know, that's really the reality of it. I mean, again, I mean, we can win it. I mean, Florida State's got to go continue to win. You know, we certainly don't have an easy road. Nobody made it easy for us. Nobody said it'd be easy. But from a big picture standpoint, it's a big game early in the year.
Would you rather play the guys with the belt sooner or later? Does it make a difference?
It doesn't matter. We got to beat them. Doesn't matter. We got to beat them.
You alluded to this the other day. Would you be surprised if your team doesn't handle the giddiness and the success that was a result of beating Auburn? Do you think your team can handle the success?
This team has done a great job of focusing, and that goes back to our leadership. Our guys have done a super job of leading. Senior meeting yesterday, I mean, you know, they're saying the right things, and practice last night. I mean, just, you know, we're back at work. That game's over. That game is over. These guys have bigger goals than 3-0. You know, they're excited about winning. The fun's in the winning. If you can't have fun when you win and enjoy it and embrace it and celebrate it, then you know, it'd be a pretty bad business to be in here. Need to go do something else. You know, it's good to see our guys enjoy a win, but they came in here at 6:30 Monday morning, and let me tell you, it was not a party going on around here. It was a very serious, focused work environment because we made a lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball. I mean, we made a ton of mistakes. There's a lot left out there. We have not even come close to playing our best game. And again, this is just turn the film on. This is a very talented football team who is the Atlantic Division champions, and that's where we want to go. So it wasn't hard to refocus them at all, and I was pleased with the way the guys responded and led yesterday.
What's the next thing college has to do?
What?
I know that's kind of an open-ended question, but what I'm saying is, you know, you talked a minute ago about how you're seeing some things that aren't necessarily just on the script, like route running and such.
Yeah.
Just wondering, what's the next thing college has to do to get to what he can be?
Let's have a great Tuesday practice today. Let's have a great practice today. Study that. Keep preparing. Just keep preparing like he's been doing. Study this opponent. Just do the best he can today. That's what he's got to keep doing. Just keep leading.
Dabo, your animated post-game reaction on television has gotten a lot of play. I mean, what's been the response you've received from that?
The response that I've received, I haven't received much response other than just watching it all night Saturday night with my family. It was like it was, I will say this. You play that noon game, and not only was it a big win, but and so they're going to talk about that, but it was who we beat that they really wanted to talk about the whole, and so it was like a commercial for Clemson all day, all night, and it was great. That was great for our team. It's great for our fans to see Clemson. Have such a positive light on them. And so I was happy from that regard as far as, my personal, I'm an emotional guy. Y'all probably figured that out by now. I like to win. That's what you do it for. We put a lot into this. And to be quite honest with you, I really don't even remember that whole deal. I mean, it was crazy. I was trying to figure out when the alma mater was going to be played because we're supposed to gather at the Paul and sing the alma mater, and we take a lot of pride in that. I never even heard the alma mater. And, so people stick a microphone in front of your face in an emotional time like that, it was fun. And it was one of the things I told the team before the game is you know what, hey, you're either going to be victim number 18, all right, or you're going to be the team that ended this streak. And, man, what a great place to end a streak right here in Death Valley, South Carolina. And that's really all it was. So I'm just happy, fired up. We achieved our objective was to win that game, and not many teams had beaten them guys. So it was a big win for us, and it was a lot of fun.
With that said, trying to keep that, free advertising going on out there, that makes this game more important because of the national perception of, Clemson can't do it 2 times in a row.
I don't worry about all that stuff. That's a complete waste of my time. All I'm worried about is this team. Again, I know people talk about what happens here 20 years ago, 30 years ago, all that stuff, and and sometimes I kind of get lumped into that. I'm worried about the here and now and this team. This is 2011. This is Clemson football. This is a whole different team, and I know that's fun to talk about and all that stuff, but we're going to line up and we're going to play. as hard as we possibly can with great effort, lay it on the line, and hopefully that's going to be good enough for us to win this game. And, that's what we're preparing to do. If it doesn't go our way, we're going to regroup, and we're going to line up and get ready to play next week. And if these guys will continue to give the great effort, because we have had tremendous effort by this football team in every game. I mean, it has been, that's been the big thing. Hey, we had a lot of mistakes, but the effort has been outstanding. The leadership has been outstanding. And, that's the kind of culture you want in your football team. And we're starting our third season here, and, you're seeing a lot of the ingredients that you have to have in place to have a chance to win games like this and have a season like you want to have. So, but we're far from a great football team, right now. We got some good players, and I think we got a chance to be a great team at some point. But we got a lot of work to do.
Ellington listed as questionable. If he can't go, does Howard get the start?
No decision's been made on that right now. That'd be something we'll if he couldn't play, we'll talk about that on Thursday. But we'll continue to get him all ready. But Ellington will be ready to go. He'll be ready.
I was standing behind one of the ESPN analysts. After about the third run that DJ ran, he finally goes, "Who is this kid? Where did he come from?"
We're gonna have a lot of that on this team.
But nothing special. You know how good DJ is. How good can DJ be?
Very good. I mean, that's why we recruited him. He can fly. We thought he was a very good running back, and all these guys that we've signed, you're gonna have a bunch of. There's several other guys on our team that really have not had a lot of opportunities yet. That as this season plays out, I think that we'll get some, and people will say, "Who is he? Where did he come from?" It's just a matter of getting an opportunity at this point.
Your words, was Saturday part of maybe the first step in the process of jerking Brandon Thomas through the knothole?
Yeah, and he had an excellent week of practice last week. He really did. In fact, I met with him one-on-one last week and talked to him about that and just told him, man, listen, do you have any idea how good a player you could be if you just commit to the things that we're trying to do with you and take advantage of opportunity? And, we're working him at tackle, working him at guard, and he prepared well, and then he was thrown into a situation where all of a sudden he's playing 89 snaps, and he played very good. And he got better as it went, and you could just see, even here last night, you can just kind of see his confidence. And it's almost like he just needed a real shot of confidence. And I think he had fun. And he knows he can help us, and, we need him to. So that part of it was very, very good. And, that's what we got to have. We got to create that depth in that line. And, David Smith was back out there last night, practiced every snap. Mason Cloy practiced every snap. So, it was good to see.
I think since the ACC went to divisional format, Florida State and Clemson haven't finished 1-2 or 2-1. Then you look at the last 2 years of top 50 signings, Florida State 19, Clemson 13, rest of the Atlantic 0. Do you think this is, going forward, this rivalry is going to become, more heated, more competitive, more determining the top half of the Atlantic or top 2?
Well, it's all about recruiting. I'd like to say we're just, the greatest coaches ever to walk a sideline, but, we're better coaches when we have great players, and the plays just seem to work better for whatever reason. But if they continue to recruit well and we continue to recruit well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, offense is off to a great start, obviously. What are your thoughts about your defense so far? You got the offense is top 25 in 12 categories, and defense I think is 97th nationally in total defense.
Well, that's what we've earned to this point, but statistics don't tell the whole tale. We've done some really, really good things on defense. The part that is killing us are the big plays. I mean, monster plays. Wofford had 2 pass completions the whole game for 127 yards. Troy, we had some busts. And then this past week, they had 2 runs for 100 yards. And so when you're having humongous chunk plays like that, your stats aren't going to be very good, as far as your rush defense. But if you can't do it, but when you watch the tape, if you take out the 5 or 6, 7 big plays, we've played pretty good. And we've done some really good things. Our guys up front are doing an excellent job. We've been a little inconsistent in some spots. We have not tackled great. We didn't miss a lot of tackles the other day, but we did a poor job with our eyes and our angles, and it put us in bad position a couple times. And we lost contain a couple times. Just some fundamental stuff that we've got to grow out of. But when it's all said and done, this is going to be a good defense. We've got great coaches, and like I said, we've got good players over there. We just got to eliminate some of these mistakes that we've been making, because the big plays are killing us, and that's really hurt our stats more than anything. But the bottom line is we've won, and we've gotten better each game defensively as we've gone. And you don't let a team score a touchdown in the second half, you got a good chance of winning. And it's probably been a long time since Auburn hadn't scored a touchdown in the second half. And so, hats off to our defensive guys for getting some critical stops when they've had to, and getting it fixed, when we've had some problems. But right now we're working well as a team, and that's what I like. We're not perfect. We've had a lot of success offensively, but we've made some. We're not real happy, to be honest with you, because we have missed a ton of opportunities. That 3rd and 1 the other day should have gone for 40 yards. 40 yards. But we don't execute. We got a guy making the wrong call and, pulling a guy down, and we turn a guy loose, and, we get hit in the backfield. We had the perfect call, the right formation, the right defense. And, those are critical mistakes. So we've had that on both. But the thing I like about this team is they're playing as a team. They're picking each other up. They're complimenting each other. Hey, we give up that big play, but we get a big play. Special teams has been solid. We've had, Catanzaro's having a good year. What a huge kick he made the other day. And our kickoff and our protection has been good. So everything's kind of working together, and that's what a team's all about, is to pick each other up.
Coach, you guys have seen 3 pretty different and unique offenses the first 3 weeks, and I guess Florida State may be a little more traditional.
Yep.
But what's sort of the challenge in getting ready?
Well,
for
they're pro style, and we have not seen that, and it's that's just really the nature of college football these days. The NFL has got a lot of, heck, they just, this guy gets fired here and he goes over here, and they all, this guy's traded here today, gone there tomorrow. There's so much carryover in pro football, and in college football you don't see that. There's big differences every week, and especially on the offensive side of the ball, as far as styles and philosophies and personnel and how they use their personnel and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a little unique that we're in our 4th game and we've yet to see a pro-style attack. We've seen about everything else. That part of it's challenging because we really have not played base defense yet. Just traditional base defense of who we are. And so we've kind of had to install backwards, so to speak. As far as usually teaching progression, you kind of start with your base defense and go from there as it grows out, where we've had to do that almost in reverse from a teaching standpoint. So it's we think we know what we're doing, but we hadn't played it yet. So this is a play action team, a lot of boots and neckage, screens. They're going to run the zone extra. You'll see I formation, then they got a little option. They'll spread you out. They got the capabilities of doing a lot of things, but we that part of it is a challenge just because we have not faced it yet.
Would you expect some of those younger guys, Stephon Anthony and, you know, the young linebackers, to see maybe more time this week playing more in a base defense?
Yeah, I would. I sure would. And I hope so. You know, they got to continue to get better. And this past week, we did not play a ton of guys defensively. A couple of reasons. One is the type of game it was as far as defensive game, and then we didn't have a ton of plays. We only had 9 snaps in the fourth quarter defensively. That's it. Them guys were loving life over there. So we win a lot of games if we can go and play 9 snaps of defense in the fourth quarter.
Brad Scott, another game ball.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's you know, recruiting is the name of the game. It really is. I mean, you have to, and we've got a great staff that recruits well, and we have a great place to recruit too. We've got great facilities and resources, and you know, it's starting to pay off for us.
Do you, with him off the recruiting trail now, do you lose anything? Are you worried about losing any of your foothold?
No. Our coaches do a phenomenal job recruiting. We got as strong a recruiting staff as you're gonna find, and we work hard at it. I mean, we work really, really hard at it. We meet every week. We do a lot of evaluating. You know, we stay in touch with people. Brad is now our director of recruiting, so he's just, you know, really even more entrenched into that part of it. So it's been good. It's been a very good transition. He's done a fantastic job with that part of it.
Does the lack of a pass rush concern you at all? I mean, it seemed like they couldn't get any pressure on Trotter at all.
Well, they're max protected most of the time. I mean, you know, when you send 4 and they're max protected, you're not going to get a ton of pressure. But it got better as the game went. You know, I mean, we hit him. I think we affected him. We affected the quarterback as that game went with some hits. He got it off, but he paid for it a couple times. And so our guys are doing it. And again, some of it is who we've played. You know, how many passes did Wofford have? 2. You're not exactly going to create a pass rush in a game like that. And, you know, Troy, the problem with them is they're 11 yards deep, and it's gone. They don't hold the ball. So, you know, it's just styles of play, you know, so far. I mean, we can get a pass rush, and then we can pressure. You know, there's things that we still have not really gotten into, but it's really been more who we play. And there's a lot of ways to create the pressure on the quarterback, and we've done that at times. But as far as a big sack total right now, we don't have a huge number of that.
You're essentially saying playing your base defense, and I know it depends on what the offense is doing, but playing your base maybe allows you to stun some more, throw some more of the things that are in your package that maybe you can't when you're not playing your base.
Yeah, there's several things we just haven't done because we haven't had the opportunity to. And, you know, we have rarely played with 3 linebackers on the field, you know, so just because of who we've played, you know, and even though when we played Wofford, but, you know, you're not running base defense against that. You're in it's a whole different world of assignment football right there. So, yeah, this will be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how we play. And, you know, we've taught it. That's one thing to teach it. It's another thing to have live bullets coming at you full speed and reacting. So I'm anxious to see us early and how we match up.
Anything else?
All right. Thank you guys.